I feel like I knew she was still messing with her ex when we were giving them. And because I liked the babe so much, I just didn't even say anything. And to me,
Like
that's
you
crazy
saw
because
signs and stuff, and you're like, you know what?
yeah. Like, not like she wasn't. It wasn't like the way this one saying, "Keep quiet, I'm talking to someone." But I just knew, like, you know, when you just know.
Yeah.
And as a guy,
usually when you know, you like, it's
bro,
facts.
and as a guy, the knowing is very hard because me, I never even know because I'm not checking. I'm too busy doing my own
So for you to
shit.
know,
So
it
I was
means
like,
it's come to you. Like
it has
damn.
come to me, and I was like, you know what? Man, that pussy too fire. I
I'm like, you know what? It's cool. I'm just gonna turn it.
I have one to confess, and it's just because this guy's here. It just brought up a memory. But do you remember this guy's club? What's his name? The DJ that passed away.
Olu Liquid.
Olu, yes.
Liquid,
Do you remember that? His
Of
club,
course,
right?
yeah, we used to run those nights together.
That's why I said it's just because you're here. I'm going to bring it up now. So back in those days, that's when I first moved to Niger. I'm still getting myself. I was always out on streets. There was one girl I was talking to. She was one of those. I won't say industry based, but she was always with the musicians. All these every time.
She's an industry babe.
So we were talking. And we liked each other. That's how I entered Liquid one day. And Liquid was always hard to enter.
Therefore,
like get to his
that's
part.
crazy.
Finally, I've gone because she's the one that even told me to come. As soon as she saw me,
Liquid.
and I was in love with this girl. I would do anything for this girl. She left me right then. Saw a musician was walking out. I'm not gonna say his name. Saw him walking out. Ran to him. From there, my guy, they hold her like this. I'm just there. She now came back to me. Okay, so I'll see you later. I said, that was like my billing error. And that was right before uni when the glow up started. Because at that point,
see, whenever you do that stupid shit, it's
bro,
because you're building
she
your
literally was
self-confidence.
holding the guy right left. He said, "Oh, hold on, came." And guess what? I was still the one trying to text her and call her after. Like, hey, what's up, mama?
That's normal. So my own was actually a very long time ago. So this was still in the time when there was no. So the BlackBerry was just coming out, so you could tell then that still our parents were the ones having the BlackBerries. Then, like we still only had the Nokias. You know, for those that had phones, then we only had the Nokias and stuff. And then it was texting.
You guys explain. You know, say you be millennial. Some people know.
Shit, God. Again, I'm 26. So I don't know what he's saying. Right? So, well, again, for context, there was a time in life when there were no. Well, they weren't smartphones. They were just like telephones, right? And the farthest you could go was SMSing, texting, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was multimedia messaging, but if you had the data for that, but it was mostly texting and phone calls. And so this was also the era of midnight calling and stuff like that. You want to get free calls until that year, man. So anyways, this faithful summer period, I was in the UK. My ex-girlfriend at the time. Well, my girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend now. I was in the UK and, it was a family holiday. The whole family was in UK. My girlfriend at the time was back in Niger. And I'm sure if you guys can relate, you know how expensive it is to call. I had a T-Mobile line there. I was calling direct. So a Niger number. So what I mean, it was I was in love. I was like, you know what? This won't cost me nothing. I think I was spending like £10 per phone call. But I'm like, you know what? It's nothing. So there was this day that I went out, you know how the summer trips would be, you go out to, do all you have to do during the day.
Yeah.
Then nighttime is when you now want to settle down, call your people, those kind of things. So I got back around 11. I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna call her around 11:30-ish. She was like, okay, you know what, hold on, let me call her about 11:45 or 12. No, I call her at 12. And then it says call waiting. I'm like, okay, 12 a.m. And then next thing I then wait. I call again second time, still call waiting. Now, the boyfriend normally will feel like, if you see my call, maybe you want to end that call and let me either know that you call me back or just end that call and talk to me. Anyways, I wait like 30 minutes. This is around 12:30. And then she calls back. And then she's like, oh, hey, yeah, sorry, I was on a call with this guy. Now, this guy, said guy, I'm not going to mention his name because I feel bitter for it anyway, I see him. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm on the call with this guy, and let me just quickly wrap up. We were talking about something important. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Understanding boyfriend. Cool, no worries. I was up 1:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15, 1:30.
You were in love, boy.
1:45.
Boy, God forbid.
She called me at 2:10. In fact, it was 2:12. Yes, that's how much.
The guy said,
So anyway, she calls me and then she's like, Yeah, hey, sorry. So I'm a little tired. So let's just talk tomorrow. I mean, guess who called her again in the morning? She gaslighted me and she was like, "Oh yeah, that she was talking to him, like they had things to talk about that. Why am I making a big deal out of it? That it's just a phone call. I can talk to her anytime. That's but she wanted to spend her midnight calls talking to the guy.
Wow.
Never. See, and some of you women don't realize you're the one that starts the villain in some of us men, but we're not going to blame you. We're going to take accountability for that. But again, thank you guys for sending your comments and questions. We appreciate it. So, real quick, as we jump in, TeeZee, question. You've been known for a while.
A while.
In fact, a funny story again. When I first came to Nigeria, I remember I knew nothing of the teenage urban culture, nothing. Right. I'm still rapping Yankee. Then I remember in high school, the way I got popular was obviously through sports and going around then. Remember people would start talking about music and all that. So I remember I would just be hating on Nigerian stuff at first. It was just the so I remember people yeah, you never heard of these rap groups around the city? Who? Oh, there's LOS, there's DRB. All these people what? Oh, DRB is London, LOS is Lagos. Who these niggas? But eventually, you wouldn't realize that even from then, all the concerts you guys used to do at Federal Palace, all these places, I was there. Same thing with LOS, I was there. And it's the progression that you guys have made. First off, well done. But I'm sure you've gone through different journeys in that progression. So let's start with the beginning. You took a chance with your boys and you formed DRB.
Yeah.
And I know DRB was very known in social spaces and all, but can you just quickly take us through that, how it started and how you now built it to how you guys built it to have the platform that it has now?
I think with DRB, how it started, we were all in school. I was in school in Niger, right? And we were making jams, just chilling with my boys, BOG. There were some Green String boys, some Grange boys, some A-Hall boys, just young boys with there around where they make music now. You always know, they will say, oh, that guy is in that school, he raps, or that guy sings, that type of thing. Then I moved to Jand. Then me and Fresh was actually my school son in Grange, but when we moved to Jand, we happened to go to the same school. Then Budge came to the same school. So that's how, I always knew them from church, from just being mainland, from Bagada, Ilukbeju, all those kind of things. I knew of them, but we weren't guys. We now all went to the same school. So when we now got to school, there were some other boys, Tobena, Benzo. There was a good group of Niger guys who are all into music in our school in Jand. So as in naturally, like I said, we're the ones that were doing sports, we're doing all these things. So there was already an affinity of community within us before the music. Then obviously the next thing was, I think maybe that we started recording. That's when that was the first year MacBook came out.
Right.
And on MacBook you could record jams
Right.
on MacBook. So our boy Benzo, who's actually the founder of DRB, shout out to Benzo, Tobena. He was like, yo guys, let's start this group and let's start making music and mixtape and just be putting stuff out. And we're like, why not fire? So we just started by sharing the music for our guys from our former school, people in our current school. Then I think we might have sent an email by mistake to, we sent an email to Cool FM, someone, an OAP. We didn't even know. We're just like, hey, we saw this thing online, we sent it. Next thing you know, the first record that started going crazy was a song called Marry You. And that one was just picking up. Yeah, that one was just picking up, doing our thing. Then, we just started evolving. I think me, Budge, and Fresh specifically were like, okay, us, our own piece, we were in Jando, but one an Afrobeat P, one an African P. I'm on a repping Niger P. I'm not from London. I don't have blue passports, anything. I just live here for the time. My own P was always, as soon as Skinny was going, me and Budge were like, we're getting the first flight back to Niger anytime there was an opportunity to go to Niger. That was how we always wanted to do our P. So, then it now became a youth culture thing in Niger, and we just continued pushing. It now became an alter P, then you started seeing the rises of Santi or Dunsi, SDC, everyone coming from a community of guys that were doing a similar sound. And it was just a really crazy time, man. It was like young niggas doing that shit. It hadn't been done before like that, in Nigeria.
And that's one thing I was even going to ask. Or do you have
and it was a whole movement. Yeah, it was a whole movement because we're all the same age, right?
So it was
watching your guys do this thing, and it was like we were living through them because what was happening was the closest you could get to these guys was the same parties you guys would go to. Then it was still the time of 11:45, vaults,
Untitled.
Do you get it? So there were lots of places that you guys knew that okay, you would see each other at party and stuff like that. But beyond that, our parents and other families would not even reason that we all want to go into music. So we were living through them. It was like they were doing the things we all were just
everybody
hoping.
wants to be those.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And that's what I was even going to ask, because it's like, I know that's different, because coming from Yankee now, even teenage, everybody they rap.
Yeah,
exactly.
So even when I came to that, everybody was hyping it so much. I used to wonder why, until I realized like, you're nice. Your parents,
it was a culture thing.
How did you guys navigate that now, even with your families now, to really? Because again, you guys owned it early. You guys have even set a trend for a generation to say, okay, come out that comfort zone. So how did you guys navigate that with your families now to say like, look, we want to do this? Because in the end, all of you went to school. Like, me and Fresh, I just went to Hall together. So it's like everybody still was in school, but still rapping full time. So how do you navigate that with your families?
It was difficult because, like I said, everyone, music is just in Nigeria at the time. Like, even if you are from any background, doing music was still just looked at down on.
Like
the culture, the drugs, women partying, whatever stigma that was around music was a general consensus in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It don't even matter about your economic background, just like music.
Exactly. Have you
from
finished school yet?
So,
it's always that,
I think the way we just managed this for the longest time was like,